We're going to get to more Brown stuff later, but before we dive into some hypothetical Darius Garland trades, tell us about Menu RX.
Menu RX. I'm meeting with Dr. Jake May today. He's actually in Ohio. He's stopping by my house this afternoon. He is actually going to do some testing on me, some metabolic testing. We're going to find out once and for all what I should be eating, what I shouldn't. Some of these things are obvious that most people would know, but when you get into the weeds on it, different foods work better with different people. So it's whether it's weight loss, just tightening up, or just wanting to have a healthy eating lifestyle, even if you're thin, but you feel like you could be in better shape or you could feel better as we get older, food has more of an effect on us, no doubt about it. So check out the website, menu-rx.com. Real scientists, doctors, people that actually know what they're doing instead of some idiot on the internet, that can help you get on the right eating plan. One-on-one counseling. They could use potentially use your health insurance to cover all the costs, and certainly your HSA or FSA spending accounts. If you sign up with a Menu RX plan today, you will get a 1-year membership to the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show absolutely free. That's a $60 value for $0. Go to menu-rx.com for more information. That's menu-rx.com.
Thank you for that, Bull. We got 10 Darius Garland trades.
Ooh, I like
that
it.
I'm going to pitch to you guys.
Sheesh.
And they're
I'm
all
telling you right
compliant.
now, if you and Jason say no to all 10,
no,
I'm throwing you both the hell out of here.
So they're all cap compliant. So they work money-wise.
Why do we have to say yes to one of them?
There has to be one trade that we can make. There can't be 10 that are bad.
You hate Darius that much?
Why? But that's insane. You have to trade him. Come up with something. No. Figure it out.
I find it hard to believe that with 10 possibilities, you can't find one that you like.
I tried to make these deals that I thought made sense to at least a varying degree for both sides. I'm not trying to fleece any team here. Ones that if this trade got called into either front office, they'd at least have to have a conversation.
If the Cavs can't get one trade that's good for him, then how good is he? That's all I'm saying.
We'll find out.
Well, it's not.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, Jason, go first.
Go ahead.
But I'm just saying, it's not necessarily the NBA trades are so freaking complicated. It's not just a talent for talent.
That's fair. And it's a terrible job by the NBA.
I mean, baseball, you could trade whoever you want and get whoever you want. And that's just not the case in the NBA.
Well, I do want to mention
it's good and bad. I do like that we have more, it seems like, better competitive balance in the NBA than we've had maybe ever.
Absolutely.
But
read the New York Times today for my 2-page spread.
I'm going to do that later.
The Indiana. No, you're not.
You did a 2-page.
What do you mean I'm not? I read most of what you write.
I just wrote something on the Pacers never tank.
So, like, if I actually get a newspaper,
it's in today's.
Are you saying the Pacers are the Guardians?
I might
go.
I haven't bought a newspaper in 20 years. I might go buy one just to see it.
So when you were
Barnes and Noble was like the only
10,
place
you were buying newspapers.
Well, so when I was 10, my grandfather, they got them delivered.
So
I used to always.
I used to deliver newspapers.
Did you really?
I had a bike route. I had a paper route.
Nice.
In middle school.
I'm sure Jason was like throwing through windows.
I wanted to say, he definitely before we dive into these hypotheticals,
go ahead.
The Ringer put out its updated top 100 players this morning.
Oh, man.
It's 8 different writers. They not aggregate.
What sport? I'm sorry, I didn't hear the first part.
Top 100 NBA players.
NBA, okay.
This
Why
is
would you do that now?
Darius
I know,
is better.
They update it every 3 months.
Tell me
this
Darius
is
is
the updated
in
version.
it.
Darius was 28, just a heads up.
Of course he's in it, top 100. I mean,
I know, I'm just saying he's 28.
Yeah,
so
that's pretty good.
That's the level of player
That's pretty
that
good.
They are.
Yeah.
Is Jared Allen in it?
Yeah, the Cavs have 5 guys in it.
Who's DeAndre
Donovan
Hunter?
was 8, Mobley 17, Garland 28, Allen 57, Hunter 82. But I just wanted to say that because Garland.
So who's after Garland? The next couple of guys. I want to know, please.
I gotta unfilter this.
Come on now with the unfilterings.
2 guys before 25, Jaren Jackson Jr., 26, De'Aaron Fox, 27, Chet Holmgren, 28, Darius Garland, 29, Jamal Murray, 30, James Harden, 31, Domantas Sabonis, 32, Bam Adebayo, 33, Trae Young.
Wait a second. As much as of a bum as he is, there's no way Darius Garland's better than James Harden, is he?
Oh God.
You're telling me Darius Garland's a better basketball player than James Harden?
James Harden is a dog.
I know he's a dog.
Okay.
Today,
well, what has Darius Garland done when it matters?
Why you act like Darius is a bum?
Bulls going way too far the opposite
You
direction.
really have. Like, he really nice, though. Like, he really liked that with that basket.
He's not.
Yes, he is.
No, he
got hurt.
He's the opposite of like that.
He literally got hurt.
He always gets hurt.
The man is like a walking 20, like, with 8 assists.
I'm sorry. Scoring 20 points a game in the NBA is that's like being a 1,000-yard running back. It's nice, but it's not special.
Goodness. I don't know if you were here the day I asked this.
Yeah.
Because I've been thinking about like the soft and everything else. If Darius played game 2 and the Cavs lost, would you feel the same way about him that you do today? No, you wouldn't.
Maybe.
You wouldn't.
Really
everything that we're talking about with Darius, and I thought he should have played.
Yeah.
He should have.
It all comes down to game 2 because he played game 3 and on.
It all comes down to game. You guys are
points.
overstating how down I am on Darius. I just think. Let me finish.
He about to give us 10. There's got to be a trade out there. You better take one of them.
Let me say. You have to change the mix on the team is all I'm
Why
saying.
is it him? Why isn't it Allen?
Because who's it supposed to be?
Allen.
Allen's just a guy. He's not going to change the mix enough.
He's 57.
We're doing Jared Allen trades tomorrow. So Bulls, you won't be here, but we're doing
I'm going to watch it.
These are the 10 that I came up with that I think.
All right, go ahead. Let's go.
Will any of these happen? Maybe, maybe not. But at least I think both front offices would have to have at least a conversation.
All right.
If it was called.
Let's go.
First one's a deal that's been floated around for a while now online, and it's the deal with the Magic for Darius Garland. Suggs, De Silva, and a first-round pick. It works for the cap. Both teams. Ty, would you do it?
I like that deal for Darius, honestly. If I was Darius, I wouldn't mind going there because he would be a star with Wagner and
and he'd lose in the first round every year. He's used to that.
No, but they still be really nice. Yeah. I would not make that trade. How tall is Jalen Suggs anyway?
He's 6'5".
Give me a Jalen Suggs little breakdown. What's his deal?
He's a defender, just a
super good defender.
Yeah.
Is hurt more than Darius Garland. He's missed 50 more games
I
over the
wouldn't
last
make
4
the trade.
seasons.
Then I don't want to do that. Then
It's not about. It is about injuries, of course.
Yeah.
It's about when are they occurring and when are you healthy.
Yeah.
You need them you need them to be in shape and to play with these guys.
Yeah.
But you're April, May, and June.
That's
what this is
So
about.
would you make this trade?
I would strongly consider it.
Okay, then I'm in. If
I would
Jason's considering it, I'm in.
I would consider it. I'm not saying yes.
How
but
was-
it's
I know
one
Mike likes this Tristan De
Yeah,
Silva.
how was he this year? He was supposed to be your sharpshooter.
Yeah, he was solid for them. I mean,
And
he
what's
didn't play
it's a middle
a
first-round
ton.
pick, right?
Yeah, he was 18th overall. pick.
Ultimately, I don't think I would because I think Darius is just a really good basketball player.
I change. Would you make this trade, Mike?
I would not. No.
Yeah,
I thought you told me the other
if
day
I
you
was
would.
Darius, I would want it because I would want to go to the Magic.
All right,
with
that
with
gives me
those
hope.
two.
The fact that Jason would consider
I would
that,
consider. I'm not saying
I
yes.
would consider it, but at the end of the day,
you wouldn't do it.
I think Suggs.
Tell me why.
Suggs is super injury prone.
Yeah.
Once again, all the injury concerns with Darius, he's played 50 more games over the last 4 seasons than Jalen Suggs has. Suggs has missed more playoff games in his career than Darius has. He's played in fewer opportunities.
It's because he's
Mike,
and he's had one good year as a shooter.
If I could guarantee you, both guys are going to be healthy for April, May, and June.
Darius.
Would you do the? Would you make the
I'm
trade?
taking Darius.
I would think long and hard about it, and I'd have to think longer and harder than I have.
See, but it's not about who. We're not trying to. We know that Darius Garland, when healthy, is better, but it doesn't matter. We got to change the chemistry on the team.
Why is it him?
Because he's their best player that they can trade.
I know I mentioned this on the Cavs pod Mike and I did the other day. I don't know if I talked about this on this show or not. Prior to the start of the playoffs, I was talking to someone in the league who I really trust who said he thought the Cavs would struggle with Boston. Obviously, none of this happened. But at the time, it was certainly shaping up like Cavs Celtics.
Yeah.
And he said they could force Darius off the floor because they're so small in the backcourt. Boston's going to put him in pick and roll. They're going to switch everything, and they're just going to abuse him.
Yeah.
Like, you've got to get more size back there. And that's always been stuck in the back of my head.
Got to get more size.
And I do – size matters.
Yeah.
And I do think –
The motion of the ocean.
I've always been slow to break up the Donovan Darius. I've been all along I'd break up the front court before the back court. But that did sort of resonate with me that against some of these bigger teams. Again, Pacers is a perfect example. You don't feel it or notice it when it's one game and then you move on to the next city.
Right.
But when you have to hit them and hit them and hit them 7 in a row, 7 games in a row, and you got to combat this size and you got to deal with this, And again, this is before Tatum got hurt, but I kept thinking back to the game Cleveland-Boston when Darius switches on to Tatum and Tatum just takes him in the lane and beats the hell out of him. So that's why I'm not saying yes to it, but I
guess
would
what,
consider
though? You don't have to worry about that next year.
No, but there's other teams built like that.
Like who?
Who's built like, well, I mean, you're going to laugh at me. Atlanta's got a ton of size. And I like
But Darius is also the same size as Trae Young, so.
Yeah, he is, but Atlanta's got more long and athletic wings. And I don't think Atlanta's ready. Mike asked the question yesterday on our pod, who would you take over the next 5 years in the East? What team would you take? And I picked Atlanta over the next 5 years. Because, like, over the next 2 years, I'd take the Cavs in the East. Over the next 5 years, I really like Atlanta.
You take the Cavs as the top team in the East?
Right now, yeah.
We got 9 more deals, so I want to get through some of
Yeah,
these.
next one.
I think that one was always going to be the long. I mean, I haven't seen the rest of these, but that one's been out there for so long, it deserved a couple more minutes.
If they did it,
I'll quickly
if the
say,
Cavs did it, I wouldn't hate it. I wouldn't hate it at all, but like I'd rather have Darius.
we can quickly shoot down the next 9. Go ahead.
The next one is the prototypical 2-for-1. We saw the Raptors make a deal for OG where they got 2 players back.
Oklahoma
And this
City.
involves one of those names. Bull, you mentioned R.J. Barrett yesterday.
No.
Never. Next.
R.J. Barrett and Ochai Agbaji
We gonna get him back?
They already
No.
had Abaji.
Yeah, nope.
for Darius Garland.
Next.
No.
They had Baji was the draft pick,
With the
right?
Utah, yep.
Went to
Nope.
Did he
Utah.
do anything?
Nope.
No.
He was actually not bad this year. 11 points, 5 rebounds, shot 50% from the floor, 40% from the
Next.
Bender?
decent.
You know what? I actually like this. We don't need to spend a ton of time on this, but the Cavs have done a really nice job in the draft. Really nice job. Like Jalen Tyson, I think they found something there.
Yeah.
He's going to have more of a role here going forward, especially I think they're going to lose Merrill or Ty or both. Abaji, if Abaji turns into a player, like they've just done a really nice job hitting on picks.
But you didn't say that about Colin
Mike, what do
Sexton
you
when
think
he
about
was
that
here.
trade?
They
No.
misused him. It wasn't a bad
No,
pick.
Then why'd you put it up
ripped
there?
him.
No.
I did. It wasn't a bad pick.
You asked for trades for Darius Garland. I'm
was-
giving
I know,
you
but
trade
I really
options
want
today.
you to make trades that you would consider doing.
So he
at
can't
least.
be the one on the team?
There are not a ton of teams that need a point guard. I think that deal, if you wanted to switch
Because
things up, for the
Darius
sake
is not
of
good
switching
enough.
up.
Wait a minute.
No.
Before we move on,
Yes.
the Cavs took Sexton and then the next year they took Darius?
Yeah.
Yes.
Both of them are like 6'2", 6'1"?
Yeah.
Yes.
So they was gonna do this small backcourt
Yeah.
thing no matter
they've
what.
had it. They've had it that
Oh,
way.
well then it's just their own fault.
All right, go
All
ahead.
right, next one. Straight up. Zion for Darius. Money works.
No.
I would do that. I know Zion can't stay healthy. That's the one trade where you actually get the better player.
I don't know if Zion's
If-
when healthy, he's
I was
definitely
saying,
better.
when
Oh, he's
healthy.
healthy. Yes, he's definitely better.
You can't get that man ain't been healthy since he been in the league.
I know.
I
He's so
don't-
talented.
He is, but man. Okay, so what's that lineup look like? Give me the lineup with Zion.
That lineup doesn't. I mean, you have no shooting.
That's what-
Allen, Zion, and Mobley.
Yeah, I'm not
You
doing
got to
that.
trade Allen
No,
also.
I'm not doing that.
We're not doing double deals here.
And by the way,
I'm not doing
And
that,
by the
dude.
way, why would New Orleans ever make that trade?
Because
Yeah, New Orleans in here a couple times. Jason pointed out, I think it was Monday, that they're trying to be bad. But if they're just trying to shake things up and get off the Zion contract's bigger.
They can get
Then Darius'
they can get
contract.
more appealing pieces back for Zion than a $45 million point guard.
All right, I'd still do it.
All right,
Go ahead.
what about this one?
Bull
It
crazy.
includes Zion and Darius, but let's make it a little more interesting. Darius and Strus for Zion and Herb Jones, the big coveted
Why, if
defensive
we're
wing.
going to do the other one, why would we not do this one?
why can't we? Why
it in there.
Can
Herb
we?
Jones is better than Strus, isn't he?
We can't get
different
Trey
player, but
Murphy,
yeah, probably.
man.
I don't like Strus. I want him out.
We can't get
Who do you like?
Trey Murphy.
Donovan.
And Evan. But you don't even really like Evan.
I don't love Evan.
I understand Strus
don't
had
like
a terrible
Evan?
elimination game.
yeah,
Max was really good in the playoffs.
I know.
He was really good.
I don't.
He's like the one dude that I felt Donovan trusted the most of everybody
Yeah.
on the floor.
100%. All right, next one. This is not a Pelicans
he looks
deal.
like a D3
We'll hear the
point guard.
Pelicans again in a sec. Bull, I mentioned this to you the other day, and you were unfamiliar with Michael Porter Jr.'s game.
Yeah.
But if you got MPJ in a first, would you give up Darius Garland? Ty?
That's not bad, actually. That's not.
He's
bad.
another guy who's always hurt, right? Porter.
And not. I mean, yes.
He's
but-
got chronic back issues.
Yeah, well, that messes up a lot.
That's a late
If you
first
can
round pick.
guarantee me that he was healthy,
Jason.
I think
I
about
would.
it.
I like Porter. I would.
I want
make
to say
this
I
deal.
would literally. I seriously think about it.
I would consider. I'd strongly consider. But
He's been much healthier the last 2 years.
What
It's worth pointing
did
out.
you? What did Porter Jr. What were his numbers this past year?
This year, 18 points per game.
Damn.
He shot 50% from the floor
whoa.
and 40% from three.
I know what you're gonna say.
Yeah,
I didn't realize
What
he-
did you just say to me about 20 points?
I know, but I didn't. I don't know why I thought of he was like not a guy that scored much.
Oh,
That's all he
he's
does.
a sharpshooter,
He shoots.
and he
He's a
get
scorer.
bored.
Oh yeah, he doesn't do anything else.
He get
Yes.
bored.
But he's a big dude, right?
6'10".
Yeah, 16.
there was a lot of concern on him coming out of the draft about his
Right.
back. That's why he
Yeah.
fell. Cavs passed on him because of the back.
Missed his entire rookie season because of the back.
And then you'd have to you trade Jarrett Allen for.
You could play him at the 3. What you talking about?
Oh,
Yeah,
We're doing Allen trades tomorrow, Bo. I'm not
All
going
right.
to entertain any of your
Your,
Allen
your,
secondary
your
hypotheticals
lineup
here.
would be like
I was just looking for like what type of player.
you could
not
run
necessarily.
like Donovan, Max, MPJ, Evan, Jarrett, or
Yes.
Hunt if you want to put, and you can still have Ty and Hunter come
Yeah.
off the bench.
That'd be a very big lineup. For everyone complaining about the lack of size for the Cavs,
This
that would
address
give you
it.
6'2", 6'5", 6'10", 6'11",
I-
7'4".
And in theory, you could start Donovan at the 1 and Hunter at the 2,
That
right?
might be
You
the
could.
And
That
then you'd have the biggest team.
You take away the back issues. That one, I
All
wouldn't
right.
mind that.
All right, we're in on that one. Go ahead.
All right, next one. There's a couple different iterations of this trade. It's
All right,
with the
lot of
Timberwolves.
iterations.
Jaden McDaniels would be the centerpiece. I went with Dante DiVincenzo because I like Dante DiVincenzo the most out of the other pieces. You
I'd
can go
make
with
this
some
trade.
younger guys to add the salary up that would be equivalent to DiVincenzo. If you want to go Terrence Shannon, there's a couple iterations, but
Is
essentially
McDaniels a good shooter or no?
He's
okay shooter.
He's okay. Yeah, he's more of a defender.
What I like about a trade like this is it feels like McDaniels and DiVincenzo do a lot of little things well. Like a lot of they're versatile players, aren't they? To some degree.
I mean, McDaniels is a flat out 3-and-D guy. That
Right.
offers almost no shot creation. He's a stand in the corner and shoot. Or
Yeah.
But
dunk
he
it in
plays
transition.
defense, doesn't he?
Great defender.
And he's a rebounder, no?
He averaged 4.2 rebounds per
Oh,
game
that's
this
it.
year.
And DiVincenzo, little of everything.
He's just a shooter.
Shooting guard. Could shoot.
He's
Very
a
good
shooter.
shooter.
All right, maybe I'm
Three-point
totally off. I don't know.
I would not do this.
I
Not
don't
make
think
this
I
trade.
would.
Mike, would you
either.
make this trade?
I love McDaniels. I don't. You're losing so much shot creation, dropping off from Darius to those two because Dante's not really his own shot creator. He's more.
Is
of
there
a,
another player besides DiVincenzo?
Let me ask
I
you.
mean, like Terrence Shannon, if you want to take a risk on a young guy, but he barely played this year. You go with Rob Dillingham, who they traded up for.
He didn't play in the
I don't love
playoffs for
this.
some odd reason. Was he hurt in the playoffs, or did he just
Who?
not play?
Dillingham?
Yeah.
No, he didn't see. They traded up to draft him, and he barely played this year.
Yeah, I was shocked by that. Now, let me ask you about Kenny Atkinson's offense. If you know how you said Jaden McDaniels is a stand in the corner guy, but with Kenny's offense, it's a lot of motion, a lot of picks and stuff. You don't think he could fit in that catch and shoot off the,
I mean,
off the screens?
He hasn't shown us the ability. Can he? Maybe, but he didn't do that in Minnesota. He was
How big is DiVincenzo?
6'4".
6'3", 6'4".
Oh, he's not big.
He
All right.
is 6'4", 200 pounds.
All right. Next.
All right, so this one makes no sense for the Clippers to do, but I was trying to find trades that satisfied Bulls, turn Darius into pieces. If the Clippers wanted to do this, would they do
My cousin.
Darius for Norm Powell, Derrick Jones Jr., and Chris Dunn?
That's my
I don't know
cousin.
enough about any of those players. You guys tell me.
Norm Powell got that jumper.
Yeah. I would not do this.
I wouldn't do it either, but Norm Powell got a jumper. That's my cousin, man. He got a jumper. It runs.
Norm Powell was awesome this year.
It runs in the family.
Does Tyus have a jumper, Mike? Have you seen him play?
You never seen me play?
I haven't.
I thought you guys played once.
Nah.
What do you think Norm Powell averaged this year?
22 points.
Jason, what do you think?
No, 21.
15 and a half-ish.
Bo, what do you think?
I have no idea. I'm not going to bother to guess.
He averaged 22 points this
I was way
year,
off.
shooting 49 from the floor and 43 from three.
Wow.
He was that guy. Now he folded in the playoffs. I tell you that. he really did.
He was
He really didn't
awesome
show out
this
in the
year.
playoffs.
Awesome.
But he wasn't awesome when it matters, according to Tyvis. We have
Yeah.
enough players like that
You
on
trade
this team.
me Zubac for Allen straight up.
LA would laugh at you.
I know they
Why would they do that?
They wouldn't, but I just like Zubac. He like a 20.
All right.
He's the thumper.
Two more.
Yeah, you talking
If
about
you-
being
if you
soft
took
in the
that
you ain't
Clippers-
never got to hear that no more.
Would you make that trade with the Clippers?
No, because I don't like Dunn, and I don't really think Derek Jones.
If you
Jr.
had that
answer.
exact same trade but added Zubac and Allen in there, would you make the trade?
What? What'd you say?
Yeah, Garland and Allen for Zubac, Norm Powell. I have to, if they're depending on the contract length. Yeah, I would think about that. I love
Okay.
Zubac.
Would you do it, Jason, if they added Zubac and Allen in there?
I mean, LA's never going to do that. But
Okay, well, then it's pointless. Next.
All right, we got two more. Bull, you're gonna love this one. What if the Cavs turn Darius Garland to your two favorite white guys, Tyler Hero and Kevin Love?
Did you know his brother just committed to Ohio State?
I don't want
I saw
Tyler
that.
Hero, and I don't want Kevin Love on this team. The Cavs are already the least likable team. They went from being most likable to now I hate them.
why is Kevin Love not likable? What's wrong with Kevin?
I guess he's likable
Honestly,
now.
if they made this trade, it'd be the same thing defensively. If the
Yeah,
Cavs
Tyler
picked
Hero.
on him defensively, then the Celtics and whoever else is going to pick on him defensively as well.
Tyler Hero is.
And Darius would be salty that he got traded for that guy
Yeah.
that he just talked trash about.
They're the same player. Let's go.
All right, and then last deal here, Bull.
This is depressing.
Once again, the Pelicans are involved in this. It does not include Trey Murphy, but DeJounte Murray and Jose Alvarado.
Is it Jose Alvarado like 50? Am I thinking of somebody else?
You're thinking of someone. You're thinking of Jose Calderon.
That's what I'm thinking of, Jose Calderon.
He's
Good
a
call.
coach here.
Good call.
Calderon, he's
Yeah.
a coach
Yeah,
here.
he's on the front office.
front
I
office
think.
here.
Oh, okay.
Alvarado
Good
would
dude.
be.
Really nice guy.
Alvarado is Matthew Dellavedova, but Spanish.
He's Spanish. He's
Kind of.
Matthew
Spanish
Spanish-Adova.
Kind of like that. Murray is a bigger point guard. He's coming off an Achilles injury, so that's
Yeah.
the hindrance
When did he tear the Achilles?
in February. So he's gonna miss the first part of the season.
I don't care.
May
I
not
just
be
need him
the
for the
same.
playoffs. DeJounte Murray was great in San Antonio.
He has not been as good since he's left San
Correct.
Antonio, but he's a
But the
bigger
Pelicans
point
is
guard.
where players go to die, basically, right?
It didn't
Yes.
really work in Atlanta either.
Okay.
I'm cool.
How big is he?
I'm not a DeJounte.
6'5" and a good defender.
I'm not a DeJounte. That man right
I mean,
there.
that trade's a no-brainer, isn't it?
That man right
No,
there
it's not a no-brainer.
has cost me so much money on FanDuel that I can't stand him.
Who, DeJounte?
Yeah, I can't stand.
As an overall
I
player,
can't bet on him at
how
all.
much is the difference between Garland and Murray?
Different kind of player.
Murray's a shot creator?
Yes, not much of a three-point shooter. Works
Okay.
more in that mid-range, get to the cup. He's a better defender than Darius is, and he's bigger. Not as much of a playmaker, and definitely not as much of a shooter.
Have any of these stops that he struggled in with Atlanta and the Pelicans, has it been an issue because of him, like personal issues, chemistry stuff?
He did not mesh well with Trae Young.
So whose fault is that?
I don't know. I wasn't there.
Like, does he have any kind of reputation of being a pain in the ass?
I don't know, actually. Jason, you may
No.
have some more insight into that.
No, I don't think he's
All
got a
right.
reputation for that.
I mean, is Alvarado, like, in the playoffs, are you using Alvarado as your third, as your backup point guard for 15 minutes or no?
I love Alvarado. I would.
Well, if Alvarado is a player I can use in the playoffs, then I'm making that trade.
I'm not.
I like Alvarado a lot. I'm not.
So would
I
you
may
make
be a
this
little
trade?
biased. Coming off an Achilles injury, no.
Why? What's the difference?
not taking. DeJounte,
I don't need him in the beginning of the season. Who
not
cares?
taking DeJounte Murray.
If he injured his Achilles in February,
Yeah.
and we're assuming it's at least a year, and we just saw what
I don't
happened
think
with
it's at least
Deshaun
a
and all
year.
these guys coming off an Achilles.
It's not. What do you mean, Deshaun? We don't know anything about Deshaun.
That's what I'm saying.
Deshaun couldn't play before the Achilles. He's a bum. I mean, it's not
I'm saying
our
the
fault.
average time for an Achilles is a year. And
No,
then
it's not. Not anymore.
Is it not?
yes, it
No.
is. Yes.
Aaron Rodgers was back in less than a year.
Did he play?
Yes, he played last year.
No, he missed the whole year, didn't he?
No, he missed. He missed the 23 season, but then he was ready to go at the start of the 24 season.
I think 10 months is aggressive
Oh.
and about. I will
Even
certainly
if
wouldn't
it's
go
a
less than
year, that's 2 months before the playoffs begin.
I'm not. He no.
You have to integrate him into an entire new system with guys he's never
Who
played.
cares? You're only integrate what, Mike?
No,
the regular season doesn't matter.
But Mike's point is it's
Yeah.
a new DNA that you're injecting into the. I remember when Kyrie came back
Yeah.
from the knee. I think it was the year of the championship that they
Yeah.
won, and what a process that was to get him acclimated. And he did know, and he was here. I think that was the year that they won the championship, and just the amount of practice that it took, and the hours of just trying to get him back up to speed.
Yeah.
Injuries that cost you the start of the season, I agree. April, May, and June, you got to be healthy for April, May, and June. But when it's a new guy who's new into the system, you need time for them to figure it out.
I think ultimately the bottom line of this whole conversation is I am convinced, and I certainly could be proven wrong, but I am convinced that the Cavs cannot win a championship as is. Now, you guys, I think, still believe it's possible that they could win as is.
If Evan...
Right. And if you believe they can still win as is, I would understand why you'd be hesitant to make some of these trades. Where I'm like, I got to trade Darius for the best trade I can trade him for because I can't win with Darius as my third best player.
I want to wrap up to get Guardians, so I want to get our last topic in. Both of those, because you were the most adamant about making a move. Which one of those was your favorite?
Can you put them all on the screen real quick, like rapid fire? Like 5 seconds each. Can you do that?
Yeah,
is that possible?
270. The first one, Steve, was 283. We'll do rapid fire.
There's two that I would
There's only one that I like.
consider, but I don't know that I would make any of them.
It's only one.
Okay.
That's one I would
Maybe
consider.
With the Magic. Go ahead. No.
No.
Yes.
No.
Magic
No.
or Zion?
No.
No.
Yes.
Yes.
That's the only one I like.
No. 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 Yes.
That was the last one.
All right, I would make 4 of those trades. I'd make the Magic trade, I'd make the Zion trade, I'd make that last one, and I'd make the Michael Porter
I'm
Jr.
glad I gave you some options then, Bull.
The best one, I think the general consensus seems to be the Michael Porter Jr. trade is the best one.
The Porter one and the Orlando one, I would consider both.
Do you
I'm not
think
a strong
those
yes
teams
on any
would
of them.
consider those trades?
I think Orlando would consider that. Yeah.
Orlando would do that in a heartbeat.
So maybe you could get a little more from.
I don't know why
Orlando.
Denver would.
The
make that
Nuggets
deal.
wouldn't do that because Jamal.
They got
Murray.
Jamal Murray, and now they're creating the same problem the Cavs are trying to get out of.
So then let's dive into that Magic trade a little more. If you think that if you guys believe who's the Magic's point guard?
Jalen
Jalen
Suggs.
Suggs.
Oh, okay. Well, so Darius is an upgrade for them.
And he's a better fit with their other
Better
two.
fit. Okay.
Yes.
So don't you think the Magic might give up even a little more?
Nope.
Is there another player?
They're not giving up 2 ones.
Is there another player that you could get from them?
They got a center. Who they centers?
There's too much money. Then we're getting into the money.
That's what I'm saying.
Wait, who's their best center?
Wendell Carter Jr.
How much does he make?
Not a ton.
What if you added Allen to this trade?
Yeah, that's what I'm
Then-
thinking about.
Wendell Carter Jr. makes $12.5 million.
And Wendell Carter Jr. is a shooter, right, for a big man?
He can shoot.
Yeah, but they wouldn't want Jared Allen. Jared Allen would muck up their
I'm about to
already
say
non-shooting
with
roster.
the
I
two
gotcha.
bigs with Franz
Yeah.
and Paulo.
So this
he'd
is
be in
Bull's
the way.
favorite deal. We'll get you the Jared Allen deals tomorrow. The Magic.
I think the Michael Porter Jr. might be my favorite deal, but you guys say they won't.
The Nuggets would never do that.
it.
Yeah, I mean,
Would the Pelicans wouldn't make the Zion trade?
No.
No.
What about that last trade? The one that I said I like.
I think New Orleans would consider that.
No, not New Orleans. The last one you put up, the last trade.
Yeah, DeJounte Murray.
Oh yeah, that was the
New
New
Orleans.
Orleans too.
Yeah, I think they would do that.
Could you get a little more from New Orleans in this trade?
No, he
Money-wise,
sucks.
it's
He's
real-
a
real
dog.
tough. Yeah.
Didn't say he sucks or is.
Yeah. You said you
I didn't say he
didn't.
sucks. I
That's
said he's
what
soft.
you insinuate.
He's injury prone.
All right, we got
Jason,
Jared.
you've said many times he's immature.
I also said he grew up quite a bit this year. I did say that. I think he's got more room to go.
Way to cover your
It's funny
tracks.
that Bull thinks that he's soft and this terrible player, yet he's trying to get more out of all these teams for someone who's
Well, you
soft.
guys keep telling
That's
me
the part
how
of
good he is, so I'm like,
negotiations. You
okay,
got to
we'll
see
get
how
more.
far. You can see how far you can take this thing.
Let's go. Who else could you get from New Orleans in that last trade?
Jordan Hawkins.
We can't get Trey Murphy, man. That's the
no.
only person I actually would want off of that.
Who?
Trey Murphy.
Trey
the
Murphy
third.
is my dream target. I don't know why they would trade him, so I
Small
did not put him in
forward.
here.